With the release of Assassin's Creed on Quest, it has now been shown and known that Quest is drastically improving. Now, some things have been really floating around Twitter space, showing screenshots of things that Quest is capable of. Now, a lot of people have been saying also that this has been kind of render type graphics. Also, this might be PC VR. But either way, what we know about Assassin's Creed and just other games, I mean, therefore, let's just talk that notion, right? A AAA game on Quest is a magnificent win. It's a magnificent plus. Now, how great it looks, I've yet to see it, but I've seen all people like showcasing it and stuff like that. And, you know, I'm just like, whoa, a lot of my good friends are doing VR stuff and they showcase Assassin's Creed. And to me, it looks amazing. Now, it's not always my cup of tea to do a full campaign type game, but when I'm watching it, I'm like, man, this is crazy because from what we're used to in terms of graphics now, and then we can also go against that route too, right? Graphics don't always mean it's the best game in the world, but at least in terms of looks and performance, reviews and backings, Assassin's Creed has been looking amazing and been doing amazing, and it's a successful launch if it's a AAA game on Quest. Now, aside from the other way from AAA games, we all know that PSVR 2 needs to really start stepping that up also with AAA games to get people heavily involved in virtual reality. And my opinion is that PSVR 2 will definitely adopt a lot more AAA games just due to them being PSVR 2, right? It's a PlayStation 5 and they're tethered to it. Of course, that's similar to what you would do to a PC, like to become PC VR. But Quest doing this as a standalone is a huge W. Again, we're always looking for like AAA type game settings or things that have like a aura to be AAA. Walking Dead was a great example of that. Now, Resident Evil 4 was adopted. I need to really run through on my own, and I'm going to go through Quest 3 Resident Evil 4. It'll be the OG version, of course, but I definitely want to dive into that pretty soon and probably just talk about that on Quest 3. And I also want to use my Quest 3 to try to jump back into like Phasmophobia to see how that's kind of doing. Now, though, that Phasmophobia is not a AAA game, but it is a very popular game. I just want to see how it looks with clarity, but you have to get into PC VR for that too. Resident Evil 4, the OG, you don't have to. That's a standalone one. So if I could probably do that for clarity, that'll be great. But the photos seem to be very promising on what's happening in terms of just performance and just how it looks. And Quest just even having an idea of looking like that is insane. And I mean, these photos look absolutely beautiful, and therefore I'll be showing them like on the screen. And I'm just like, man, if this is the way that Quest can actually do it, especially with Assassin's Creed doing that as a standalone, other games kind of doing stuff as a standalone. I know I'm not too sure what other game it'd be cool if we almost had like a Resident Evil 4 remake on Quest. I know that's like stretching any type of thought process of that, because Resident Evil 4 remake looks insanely good, and if you've been on my channel, you know I rave about that all the time, man. But I do appreciate everything in terms of how far this journey has been, and they have really been improving. Again, Assassin's Creed showing us like, hey, this is a top-notch type game, and it's a successful launch, and it has great reviews. Like, devs are gotta be taking notice now. People are taking notice now that the stretched capabilities and the quality of a Quest 3 now improving drastically is a great thing. It's a step forward. It's a leap forward in virtual reality, and it's something that we need to be looking at in the near future. Just because virtual reality could be the landscape of gaming. Now, we don't know how soon that will happen. I hope I'm alive for this to actually see this conclusive thing happen with VR actually being the mainframe of gaming. But that could be such a long time from now. I know people predict like 5 years, but I don't know how long. Y'all gotta let me know what y'all think about that for sure. But I do know I want to jump into another AAA game soon, at least Resident Evil 4, the OG version, and see how clear it is now on Quest 3 to kind of compare them, because I used to play it on Quest 2 a lot, and I used to stream it a lot. And then I definitely need to get my hands on Assassin's Creed myself, just due to how much hype's been going on. I have yet to do it. I didn't want to spend that much money, and I wasn't a part of their campaign. I did get asked to be doing their campaign. I just never really got back to them. There's a lot of back and forth in terms of like sending out videos and doing stuff, so I wasn't able to really do that, which is kind of a bummer. But it was too much. I had too much on my plate going on at that point. But Assassin's Creed is showing us Quest can go to a higher level. I want to know what AAA games, maybe the Grand Theft Auto game, we need to see how that performs. Some people are even stretching, saying that Quest is capable now of looking like at least a PS3 now. And I think even further, I don't think any further than that. I think it was a PS3 is what I saw on Twitter, is what people were thinking now. Either way, I would like to see like a Grand Theft Auto on there for sure. I know the Resident Evil 4, definitely. If it's not the full remake, then maybe the OG a little bit crispier on a Quest 3 than the Assassin's Creed looking really good. Any other AAA game, I don't know what can really be a great aspect of it. Obviously not being a mod or anything, just a straight native standalone game. I know Walking Dead kind of takes that type of tier. I keep saying that. I know Arizona Sunshine looked great. It's not a AAA game, but Arizona Sunshine 2 actually looks really good too. So that's another Quest game that I think that is like incredible. You know what I mean? So those are just some of the few things that I think should be at a higher tier, and Quest definitely is deserving its respect now. Again, I always said it was more of a little bit more of an extension with mixed reality of a Quest 2. But the way that this looks, it seems like this can be really holding off well and proving that this is definitely a next version of virtual reality, which is leading us to a component of, is it a point to where we don't need PC VR anymore, right? I know there's so many arguments about this in terms of like is PC VR dying, or do we need PC VR anymore? Me personally, I would never think PC VR is dying. It's a PC. It's once you connect there, especially when you do it wirelessly with a Quest, it becomes PC VR now. And it is always going to be next level. It'll always be next level. The only reason why I don't do PC VR as much, though, is simply and solely due to Quest being a standalone. It's made to be a standalone, so I like to try to maximize what I can get out of it as a standalone. The only thing I do with Quest is just I record on the PC, because that's all you can record with, unless you record it without like your own camera and everything like that. But that's just through casting, and then just whatever is on my Quest is exactly what you see. I don't do any raw editing. I mean, I don't do any editing or anything like that. It's raw footage. But other ways, because there's a way to get to PC without actually turning into like that Oculus Home and going to PC VR. It's weird they still call it Oculus Home too, by the way. It's literally called Meta now. I don't know why they still call it Oculus Home. But yeah, that's just kind of that adherence to what I don't think that Quest is at a point to where PC VR is ending, but I think if it can create that respectable level and create a step for us where we don't have to go through, I'm speaking in terms of a casual audience and a general audience too, to skip that full step of having to get through PC VR, because PC VR is tough to, like, one little thing goes wrong, it can be something like you would be digging in there like for a long time to figure out what went wrong, right? Sometimes it has like hiccups and stuff, and sometimes it's just hard to really keep track of. Usually it's best to have somebody around you if you're like streaming to help you out, like calibrate, re-coordinate anything that's going down, whether it's chat or calibration or audio or reading chat. There's just so much stuff. And I always watch my friends do it on PC VR too. Usually they have someone around them, or if not, that, you know, they got to configure things a lot, and it does get very advanced. So that's why I always respect those that do PC VR, especially solely. Respect to you all. And so for a general audience, I know for a fact it's a lot more complicated to understand more and more components, because just virtual reality in itself is pretty difficult. But Quest showing us that they could have this type of advancement is always a plus, man. And I think that's going to be something that we could really look forward to in the near future. But yeah, that's just kind of my thoughts, and I wanted to share that so much that Quest is improving, crazily improving, and I'm excited for that. And hopefully they have some updates with even more things going down, maybe more experimental features though. But y'all gotta let me know what's up, what y'all's thoughts on Assassin's Creed 3, or have you got it? Drop the comment below, man. I appreciate it. I haven't got it yet. Again, I'm not too sure if I will get it. I would like to some extent, but we'll see. We could work something out, or I don't know. We'll see what's up. I appreciate y'all. Peace.